Here we go. The Huskers have a big game tomorrow that will likely determine the rest of their season. So in today's video, I'm going to give you my complete predictions for Nebraska versus Rutgers. Who are some MVPs on offense and defense? What are some statistic and game predictions? And then, of course, who wins? The Huskers or the Scarlet Knights? So really quick, we have a lot to discuss. If you're pumped up about tomorrow, I know I am. Hit that like button. And hey, if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer, make sure to subscribe. I post daily Nebraska football content, and I'm not slowing down anytime soon. So if you're a diehard fan, make sure to subscribe. You will not regret it. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over this matchup, Nebraska versus Rutgers. So let's start it off with my game predictions. As usual, I'm going to give you 5 game predictions, what happens during it, who are some statistic leaders. Then I'm going to give you my score prediction and then my MVPs on offense and defense. So starting off with my first game prediction, Rutgers starts off fast. Now, their offense, watching it on film, very methodical. They can beat you in a bunch of ways, both through their arm, through the passing game, but also with their great running game led by Kyle Monaghan. So I predict they're going to go down the field, whether that's on their first or second drive, and score instantly. You know, it's going to take time for this Nebraska defense to figure them out. Very similar to the Illinois game. Of course, Illinois went down the field pretty easily and scored to open that ball game. I think it's going to be very similar versus Rutgers. The big question is going to be, how can Nebraska strike back? That's probably going to be the theme for the rest of the game. And my first prediction, Rutgers strikes first, and they start fast. Number 2, Nebraska's defensive line shows up in flashes. I don't expect Nebraska's defensive line to take over this ball game, just because this is a good Rutgers O-line that we're going up against, the best that we've faced so far this season. Now, the battle of the trenches is going to define the game. Told you guys that throughout the week. Whoever can win this battle of O-line versus D-line will likely win the football game. But again, Rutgers has one of the best offensive line in the country. I think we're going to struggle at times, but I think we will also show up. So there's going to be drives where Ty Robinson makes a play, where he gets to the quarterback, or Jamari Butler makes a really good play and gets to the running back. But I think there's also going to be drives where Kyle Monaghan is running free, and this offensive line for Rutgers is getting pushed in the running game. So once again, just like the first prediction, things are not always going to go Nebraska's way in this football game. You're playing against a really good team. How can you respond? Number 3, I predict Nebraska to win their turnover battle versus Rutgers. Now, the Huskers have done a really good job in the first couple of games at forcing turnovers. They have 8 turnovers in 5 ball games, and then they only have 3 turnovers on offense. So they've won the turnover battle in just about every single matchup. I really do predict they're going to get a pick against Rutgers, just because they'll get to Kaliak Manis once or twice, force him to throw a bad pass, and a guy like John Bullock will come down with it, or Cia Wright will come down with a pick. So I definitely expect that from Nebraska, get an interception. And I think we've been playing pretty clean on offense. Dylan Raiola, those 2 interceptions he's had so far this season, they weren't his fault. We only have 1 fumble, and that was due to Dante Dowdle. Again, really wasn't his fault too much, and that hasn't happened since week 1. So don't expect that to happen again. We've been pretty clean, so I predict us to win the turnover battle, but we got to get to the quarterback a couple of times. That's going to be huge, because Kaliak Manis is only through 1 interception so far this year. You got to get to him in a hurry, and hopefully he can throw a bad pass and, get him in the ground a couple of times, because that's going to ruin his confidence. And really, if you start to get in the mind of the offense, not only quarterback but the running back, you are really winning that battle from a psychological standpoint. So that's my third prediction. Number 4, both teams struggle in the special teams department. Now, we know what Nebraska brings to the table. Okay, they've only made 4 of their 9 field goals this year, less than 50%. That is ridiculous, but Rutgers not doing much better. They're only 2 for 4 from their field goals, so sitting perfectly at 50%. So both teams really been struggling kicking the football. I don't expect that to improve for either of these clubs. Again, Nebraska's likely going to roll out John Rhule for the 3rd game in a row. Rutgers is not making a switch with their kickers. So I'm going to just tell you this. Special teams does not fix itself in a week when it comes to Nebraska. It's not going to fix itself. Maybe after the bye week we could start to see improvement, but it's just really, really tough to fix an entire kicking game, an entire special teams after 1 week. So I think it's really, really going to struggle once again for the Huskers. For that reason, if it's a 4th down and 4 and we're inside the red zone, go for it. Okay, because I'd rather trust my young 5-star quarterback than my kicker who is averaging 20%. That's just me. I'd rather trust the best player on the team for Nebraska. So if we have a situation to go for it, we got to go for it almost every single time. Now, if it's a long 4th down, like 4th down and 13, yeah, sure. Maybe roll off the kicker and give him an opportunity. But no, if it's less than 4th down and 5, you should go for it almost every single time because I trust Dylan Raiola, and I hope you do as well. 5th prediction before I get to my score prediction. I think this game will be decided in the 4th quarter. Likely the last drive, just like the Illinois game. Okay, both these teams are very, very good, very talented. They honestly complement each other. And Rutgers has a knack for getting in close games, but they have a knack for winning them. Nebraska also has a knack for getting in close games. We just don't happen to win them. Can that change this Saturday? I'm not sure, but it's going to come down to who wants it most. Who wants it most? All right, here we go. My score prediction for this ball game. I told you before the Illinois game I was worried. Very, very worried because, they're the type of team to beat Nebraska. And I predicted a victory, and we lost. And I've went back and forth all week. Do I think Nebraska wins? Do I think Nebraska loses? I'm going to stick with my gut. I told you guys this in the offseason. I think Nebraska takes an L. Very close ball game. 24-21. Rutgers wins. I hope I'm wrong. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. I hope I'm wrong. Every single day of the week, I hope I'm wrong. But I just don't trust us in close games. That's the number one thing. I don't trust us in close games. It's one of those things where I have to see it to believe it. I'm usually sipping the Kool-Aid with all the rest of you guys. That Illinois game hurt me. It really hurt me. Because I was sipping the Kool-Aid. I was feeling good about it. And we went and did the kind of same thing that we've always done, where we lose those close games and we can't stop the running game. Rutgers is a very similar team. They have a great running attack. They win close games. I don't know. I'm just going to go with my gut, 24-21. I predicted to lose this game in the offseason because I think Rutgers, again, very well coached as well. I think it's a trap game a little bit. It's going to be at home, but I don't know how much the crowd's going to be into it. It's an afternoon game. There's a million possibilities where Nebraska wins. There's also a million possibilities where Rutgers loses. This is close to a 50-50, like a coin flip. But I'm concerned a little bit. And I'm hoping I'm jinxing us a little bit. I predicted us to beat Illinois. We lost. I'm hoping that I predicted us to lose versus Rutgers, and we win. So that's my prediction, 24-21. Rutgers gets it done. Hope I'm wrong. Let me know. What's your score prediction in the comment section? And I got to give you guys my offensive and defensive MVPs. Isaiah Nair on offense. I think the passing game comes alive for the Huskers. And then on the defensive side of the football, John Bullock. Told you in yesterday's video, I think he's a stud, man. I'm super happy with how he's performed this year. I think he has a good game once again. All right, guys, just a season-defining matchup for Nebraska heading into the bye week. I think it's going to be close. I'm excited. I'm excited to see two really good teams go at it. We'll see what happens. I hope we win. I don't know if we do. We will see. Time will tell. I'm excited. All right, guys, let me know down below. What are your predictions for this matchup? Let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And as always, folks, go Big Red, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.